Welcome back, friends, to Castro Valley News Live. We are here in our 11th episode, and let me just open this up, letting everyone know that I hope everyone's doing okay, everybody's doing well, everyone is safe and healthy. Um, I should introduce myself. My name is Robert. Hello. I never introduced myself. I don't know why. Um, so let's get the ball rolling. Want to bring up again, we're still doing the senior spotlights. There's still plenty of time to send in a photo and a message to your high school senior that is graduating. And boy, graduation is next Friday, the 29th. So please take a couple minutes, send us a photo of your graduating senior. We prefer candid shots so that there's not a copyright issue. And please include first and last name of the student in question. And you can email those into Castro Valley Television at gmail.com. That's all spelled out, Castro Valley Television at gmail.com. I've actually lost count of the amount of seniors that we've posted. It's probably close to 150, 160, 165. It's been fantastic. The feedback has been great. It is wonderful to have the opportunity to be able to share some love and some congratulations to these young men and women who are graduating. This is a huge thing for graduation is a huge thing for everyone. And as you can probably imagine, due to the COVID-19 pandemic, uh, uh, the majority of the events to celebrate graduation have been canceled. So if you would like to have your graduating senior get some recognition on our page, these are being done free. There's no academic criteria whatsoever. Send us a photo and a message to your senior to Castro Valley Television at gmail.com, and we will post them up. We've got some people tuning in. Aldina is saying hello. Hello, Aldina. Eric said hello. How you doing, Eric? Welcome to the show. Thank you for tuning in. Again, May 29 is graduation. Next Friday. There's still plenty of time to send in that photo and message of your graduating high school senior. We will post them up. They're free of charge, no academic requirement whatsoever. We are happy to provide that service. And from what it looks like, we'll probably be doing the senior spotlights next year. So I think it's a cool service to the community to be able to do that, and it's nice to give some extra congratulations and additional tip of the cap to these young men and women during this time. Any time of graduation is good. Um, from what I have heard online, the Castro Valley Marketplace is opening in June. In case someone wants to, I was going to ask that. I think every episode someone asks about the marketplace. It looks to me like I hope they can meet that target date, that timeline. Looks like the sidewalk has been dug up. I haven't peeked inside to see what the inside looks like, but again, the marketplace is opening. That's at the old, the former Daughtry building, the Castro Valley Marketplace, supposedly opening in June. Hopefully, by June, maybe some of the retail situations might be different. I don't think it will affect them because they are a grocery store. So just like Safeway and Trader Joe's, they will probably be able to be open for the most part at that time. Just saw online that the Castro Valley Car Show has been canceled, and that was coming up on June 20th. They have their event includes road closures and a lot of cars next to each other. So it's unfortunate because that is as a car person, as someone who owns a classic car, it's one of my favorite events here in Castro Valley. So hopefully they will return next year in June. By the time that I'm crossing my fingers here, by hopefully sooner than later we'll be closer to a life that is more back to normal in general. Um, Another thing I noticed in town with the easing of the restrictions with the shelter in place, because a lot of construction has been allowed to continue. The work has resumed at the Dollar Tree store that is coming to Castro Valley. If you didn't know, there's a Dollar Tree coming to Castro Valley, and it's going to be located at where Dana's Party Planet was on Castro Valley Boulevard. The street address is 3170. It's kind of catty corner across the street from Luca Deli. And actually, I think for the past month, when the shelter in place regulation closed down, stopped all of the construction, the inside was just full of a lot of construction material. But they are back there at that location. They are working on it daily. What was the last thing that I saw them doing? I think they're still doing some of a lot of stuff on the interior. I think they were doing some roofing work before the shutdown, and I think they've resumed that. So at some point in the future, you can look forward to a Dollar Tree store on Castro Valley Boulevard. And I know we did a couple of posts about that, and there was a lot of positive comments, a couple of negative ones, but I think we're all prudent with how we spend our money. And dollar stores, the Dollar Tree stores, got a lot of good stuff on the cheap to be had. Cleaning supplies, particularly office supplies. I mean, I don't want this to turn into a commercial for Dollar Tree, but I think it will be a nice addition to Castro Valley Boulevard. That location where Dana's would have been a grand slam, home run, out of the park location for a restaurant. I think parking is going to be a challenge for any business that's going to move in there, but there's parking behind there. It would have been a fantastic spot for a restaurant. But and I know quite a few people who were kind of looking at that location for a restaurant, but the cost to install an up-to-date kitchen anywhere is, correct me if I'm wrong, I believe is in the six figures. And that is cost prohibitive, to say the least. And especially in this day and age with what's happening with the shelter in place, it's probably not going to happen. But Dollar Tree is working on the building, and they'll be opening up there. And I didn't want to have the whole entire show turning into a COVID-19 discussion, which it has numerous times. But as you guys probably have heard, California is in the second stage of opening up, loosening the shelter-in-place restrictions. The governor was talking about sporting events maybe happening which I think would be good for all of us to see. Some baseball hopefully starting up, and some other sporting events happening up. If you are interested in finding out more information about that, our moderator has put a link to some of the California information. It is covid19.ca.gov roadmap / #TOP. And from what I'm hearing all across the news, a lot of the statistics are down in regards to deaths and new cases. But I could be wrong on that. That seems to change day to day. But from what I've been hearing, it is things are moving in the right direction. So hopefully we can get. I think the next thing that's supposedly happening is retail stores will be doing curbside delivery, which would be great. Again, one of the other things that we mention all the time is to shop local, support your neighbors up and down the boulevard. If you're looking to get lunch, get dinner, please consider our neighbors, our local businesses first. All of the businesses are hurting. Any business can use your help, which would be your business essentially. And bear with me, I'm just looking through the comments here. Oh, I know Aldina. She says she misses sitting at Starbucks. So I know Aldina. This is Robert. I hope you're doing well. Yeah, the guys who sit outside Starbucks are all good guys, interesting folks. I didn't know that was the same Aldina. One more thing that I wanted to mention before time gets away is we've actually got some extra magazines from our newest release that came out, I think maybe 3 or 4 weeks ago. And with that said, I would like to be able to mail some of these to you guys. There's a couple of caveats. Your address has to be in Castro Valley because of the stamp situation. So please, if you live in Castro Valley and you would like one of our newest Castro Valley News magazines delivered to your home, please email me, castrovalleytelevision@gmail.com. One more time, castrovalleytelevision@gmail.com. And we could shoot those off in the mail to you. The other caveat is you will be receiving 3 copies. Keep one for yourself and give 2 to your neighbors. So I've got 30 envelopes basically stuffed already for people. Again, the 2 caveats is please Castro Valley addresses only. If you're in Hayward or any other place, we won't be mailing them to you. So Castro Valley addresses only. And also, the envelopes will be full of 3 copies. And please share 2 with your neighbors. And again, the email address is castrovalleytelevision@gmail.com. Email me your mailing address, and we will send those off within the next couple days. Probably I'll send them off tomorrow, but within the next few days. Again, the newest magazine, we'd like to send them out to Castro Valley people only, Castro Valley addresses only. It's just how the situation is with what we've budgeted for postage. Castro Valley addresses only, and also you'll get 3 copies. Keep one for yourself, share 2 with your neighbors. It would be great, and thank you. What else? I wanted to tip my cap again to the first responder, the organizers of the first responder parade that happened at Eden Hospital last Thursday on the 14th. That would be Castro Valley Fire, that would be Alameda County Fire, That would be Todd Anglin. And I know Todd's listening. Todd's an awesome dude. I'm going to say this every time. I'm going to embarrass Todd every episode by just being honest and saying how great a guy he is. Todd is he's involved with the Chamber of Commerce. He's also involved with Castro Valley Rotary. Those two organizations also helped organize the this parade. So let me get back because I digressed with saying hello to Todd. But this first responder parade on National Hospital Day on the 14th was just fantastic. And thank you to Alameda County Fire for allowing me to live stream from one of their vehicles. But Castro Valley Matters, Castro Valley Eden Area Chamber of Commerce, Castro Valley Rotary, Todd Anglin, I hope I'm not forgetting anyone, the fire department, they just put on this fantastic show where a lot of the first responders came down from Three Cross Church, neighborhood church on John Drive, onto the boulevard up to Eden Hospital to salute doctors and all of the staff at Eden Hospital for National Hospital Day. So in this parade, and it wasn't a parade that was for the public. It was basically kind of a closed thing for all the first responders and the staff at Eden Hospital. But there was East Bay Regional Parks Police. There was Falk, the folks who do the paramedic service for Alameda County Sheriffs, Alameda County Fire. Did I mentioned East Bay Regional Parks Police. So all of these first responders went up Stanton they came down John Drive to the boulevard, up Lake Chabot, no, not Lake Chabot, it would be Stanton, up to the hospital and passed by all of the staff at Eden Hospital to salute them. And it was a fantastic thing that just felt good to see basically first responders saluting other first responders. And I'll ask our moderator to share that that live stream on the thread here of this Castro Valley News Live, so you can watch that in case you missed it. But it was just fantastic, and like I said, it wasn't open to the public. It wasn't like the Rowell Ranch Rodeo Parade, but like I said, Alameda County Fire were nice enough to let me on top of one of their vehicles and live stream it so you guys could catch it from home. One more thing that I wanted to mention, that ABC 7 News has a feature called it's about the how COVID-19 is affecting local businesses. And the feature on May 16th, which was Saturday, featured Linda over at Pete's Hardware. And I think it was really, really brave of Linda from Pete's Hardware, because she spoke to a lot of things that are happening at Pete's. And the feature is actually called the COVID-19 Diaries. And it's basically about how small businesses are being impacted by the pandemic. And Linda Rourke, who I've known, I'll be full disclosure, I've known Linda for a number of years. And I really, really, I like Linda. You may not know, Pete's Hardware does a lot of things for the community behind the scenes. They do a lot of fundraisers. They've helped, it is Children's Hospital in Oakland. They've done numerous fundraisers for Children's Hospital. They've put out a lot of money out of pocket, a lot of time out of pocket for Children's Hospital, and a lot of, Little Leagues and Girl Scouts and Boy Scout troops in Castro Valley. So with that said, during this feature, Linda kind of touched on some of the things that have happened at Pete's Hardware during the the shelter in place, and as the pandemic has happened, um, to keep their employees safe, they have really, and their customers safe, they have really adhered to the social distancing and the mask regulation. And unfortunately, there have been times where some people have came in yelling, berating, and swearing at the folks at Pete's, basically because they're just trying to follow the rules. And Linda had mentioned that one customer actually called their attorney regarding wearing masks. And after this customer called his attorney, he found out that he did have to wear a face covering to come into the store, any store. So I think it was really brave of Linda to go on to the TV show and kind of recall some of these situations. There was someone who messaged in to us and said that their brother Alan saw the show and bought some pizza for Pete's Hardware, which is great. And Pete's Hardware have been in town since 1926, family owned forever. Good people. One of the gems in our community. So and we also shared a link to that story. Our moderator will find that. We shared it on our page May 16th, and it's an outside link to Channel 7. But I think it was brave of Linda to come out and say that and let people know what's happening. And despite some of the things some of the threats and whatnot that happened at Pete's, you'll still go to Pete's and you'll be met by friendly faces. And if you see Linda, say hello. Great people. If you would like to call in, if you have something on your mind or a topic you'd like to bring up, the number here is 510-331-9112. We can talk about what's happening with shelter in place, how you're coping, what are some of the things you're doing at home, what are some of your hopes when the shelter in place is lifted? Are you a business owner? How are you doing? 510-331-9112 is the number Suzanne is mentioning. There's audio but no video, and that is intentional. You don't need to see me because that would just distract from the conversation. But thank you. Yep, Lori can't see anyone. That's because, hey, let's do a little something here. That's because there's duct tape over the camera here. And you saw me for a second there, but yeah, you're not going to see anyone other than that little glimpse, because I think if you were to see me, it would just completely distract from the conversation, unless you wanted to see my dog sleeping behind me. That might be a better visual for you. 510-331-9112 if you'd like to ring in and bring up a topic, talk about something that we've been talking about already. Like I said, there was a list of stuff that I was going to talk about, and I've kind of exhausted that list at this point. 510-331-9112 is the number. What are for the many people who have sent in senior spotlights, what are your plans for graduation? What will you guys be doing? I know I hope that the high school will come up with something for some sort of. Oh, got a caller. Hang on. Hey, this is Castro Valley News Live. Who are we talking to?
It's Mitch.
Hey, Mitch, how you doing?
Doing good. How are you doing?
Doing all right. What's on your mind?
Good. Oh no, I just wanted to talk about the shelter in place and kind of how it's affecting people. I own the Castro Valley Fitness, and I kind of talk to people all the time about how they're feeling and what they're up to, and it's been really interesting over the last, since this all started, how it's kind of gone in waves where at the beginning people were really kind of freaked out, and then it seemed like everyone was kind of feeling better about it, and now everyone's kind of getting really tense. It feels like.
It seems that way, yeah.
So, yeah, so we're just, just trying to navigate through it, but that's the kind of stuff that I'm seeing, because I'm talking to my clients a lot, talking to other people, and it's been an interesting wave to kind of, feel kind of the collective unconscious and how everyone's kind of experiencing similar things in very different places without any, personal connection, but it's kind of going in ways like that.
Yeah, you described it perfectly, where it's like kind of peaks and valleys, and it was actually kind of shocking to hear Linda mentioning that their staff, was threatened by an attorney and had people yelling at them just for them to wear their masks.
Yeah, that's really disheartening, I got to say. It's really disheartening when you hear that. People just trying to do their job and go home and be safe, and people are threatening them over that. I have my own ideas about why people would do that, but I can't imagine any possible explanation for that would make it seem okay to do that.
Yeah.
People just trying to work at the hardware store and help people out, I've been down to Pete's a couple times in the last 3 or 4 days, and it's been perfectly fine. Everyone's doing what they need to be doing. They're stocked up. They're always very helpful there. So yeah, I think if you live in Castro Valley and have for a while, the kind of people that work there, and
they're our neighbors.
Yeah, exactly. They're super nice. They're super helpful. From even if you're just trying to find the nut for a screw, they're they're right there with you. So
yeah,
it's so they're great. So, but anyway, that's the kind of stuff that I've been finding. And then when I see that, it's pretty it's very disheartening. But we're just trying to help people get through it as best we can.
Yeah, and that's probably the best thing that we can do, is just do as much as we can to help each other. Yeah,
that's right. Just be nice to each other and try to get everyone through it, and just be understanding. In some of the business conversations I've had, the people are trying to figure out how they're going to open up and how they're going to, this what's going to happen when things are getting released, kind of opened up. And I think just what everyone's kind of thinking is people are going to be understanding. People are going to, as long as people are trying to do the right thing, I think that people are going to be very forgiving when this is all, said and done and opened up. But it's definitely hard. It's definitely been hard on people.
Oh yeah. It's, hearing about a lot of businesses that are just vanishing because they can't make any money.
Yeah. That's it. I'm lucky I'm making it through. We're definitely bare bones, but we're gonna make it through. Through the help of our clients and the things that we can offer to people, even though they actually can't come to the gym at this point, obviously. But
yeah.
But yeah, I feel horrible for maybe a business that I've been around for a while, so I have a kind of an established clientele to a certain extent. But a business that might have opened up in the last 3 or 4 months is going to be in, some real bad shape.
Yeah.
And I feel really bad for them, because I know how hard it is to get a business going and to kind of maintain it. And, in the best of times, it's not easy. So obviously right now it's really hard. So,
yeah,
we're definitely trying to support any of the local businesses that we can around here at this point, the ones that are available to be supported right now.
Yeah, exactly.
So, yeah. So that's kind of what we got going.
Yeah. I think the bottom line is just be kind to each other and support the businesses that are open as much as you can.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But a little caring goes a
So,
long way, especially in this day and age.
well, it does. And people, I think people are very understanding about what's going on, and people want to be helpful by and large. There's
Yeah.
a few exceptions.
Yeah.
Yeah, but people want to be helpful, and they want to be understanding, and they're going to be forgiving as long as they feel like your heart's in the right place and all that. So,
Yeah.
that's kind of where we are. And it does feel like stuff is going to start to loosen up a little bit more. It started, but maybe in the next few weeks we'll be able to see even a little bit more. But even when that happens, people are still going to have to be wearing masks and doing all those kinds of things to some extent.
Yeah. And I think people may be a little bit wary because they'll be concerned about how safe they'll be.
Yeah, well, that's definitely it. I'm hearing that a lot from my clients, is that they know what we have at the gym, but they want to be sure that if they come in, the place is going to be clean, that there's not going to be anyone that's sick, that, we're going to be taking all the precautions that we're supposed to be taking, and if not more, and that's really their concern is that. So we're going to do everything we can to do that. And it really seems like the businesses that are open, are really doing that here. And I've kind of been, to some different areas of the Bay Area over the last few months. And I've got to say, Castro Valley, by and large, is doing a very good job of some of those things, unlike some other areas of Northern California. So I think that pretty much we're doing the best we can, and I think people are going to understand that. So
yeah. Well, the good thing is that we've reached this point because we've done the shelter in place, and from what I hear, we're flattening that curve, which is great. But we don't want to go ahead and socialize and then end up being dragged back a couple steps. But it's tough.
Exactly.
It's tough. It's tough because everybody's got cabin fever, and everybody we all want to get back to normal, which normal is going to be extremely different. But I mean, yeah. But well, thanks, Mitch.
Yeah,
go ahead.
No, I was going to say, that's definitely the case.
Yeah.
So
yeah. Well, I appreciate the call, and I'm glad you're doing well, and I look forward to the next time that I can actually come into your gym and say hello face to face. It's always good. It's always good to see you.
Yeah, it's good to see you too. You can always drop magazines off. Right now, they're not going to go anywhere.
Yeah, exactly.
We're available for that. And we're doing not to turn this into an ad or anything, we're doing a free webinar on Saturday. I can shout out the link real quick. It's just to help people kind of get through this.
Yeah.
I've kind of talked to a lot of people, and I got a couple of hints to help people get through it. So it's free. And if you go to castrovalleyfitness.com/simple-things, and you can sign up for it. And it's completely free. And I'm just trying to help and support the community. I really love this community. So
yeah, I know that.
I know that.
Feel free to share the link on the thread. And if not, I'll have our moderator share it there. And I think that,
okay.
Yeah, because from what I'm hearing, everyone's trying to buy up gym equipment because everyone's going gym nuts because they can't work out.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You can't it's like stuff like dumbbells and kettlebells. They're all gone.
Yeah.
They're all gone. It's like
crazy.
It's almost like wipes and things like that. Like there's certain things like
it's the new toilet paper.
Webcam last week.
It's the new toilet paper.
For a webcam. Yeah, that's exactly it. It's like these things everyone just kind of gets on these kicks where you need this, and gym equipment has been a very hot commodity for about the last 2.5 months.
Yeah, bicycles too, which is crazy because
anything like that.
Yeah, it's good. More people. I hope people get into exercise and stick with it and continue it because it's the best antidepressant ever.
Yeah, I mean that's definitely true. And the other thing is that something that's been a little missing in all this coverage is it helps your immune system.
Yep, absolutely.
I think, one of the things that we found with this is that people with better immune systems are going to get through this better. I mean, that's not a bold statement. but exercise and good nutrition and just a good mental approach to the world and life is very helpful.
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah.
Right on, Mitch.
So, well, thanks. Yeah, I'll put that link in the thread. I really appreciate it.
Oh, I appreciate you. I appreciate the call. I mean,
yeah,
something positive.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
I was saying, you're doing great work. Like, this is a community that is really, I mean, you've been here a long time, and you've been helping the community in your own way and for a long time. So, it's appreciated.
Thank you. I love Castro Valley. The people here are just amazing.
Yeah, I agree.
Cool. Thanks, Mitch. Stay safe.
You too.
Talk to you soon. Bye. So yeah, definitely. One of the things that will help us all is just staying positive and being there for each other. Talk to your neighbors, especially your seniors. Oh, got another call here. Hang on. Hey, Ray, how are you?
I'm good, Robert. Are we on here?
We're on. We're live.
Okay.
All right. So this is Alameda County Sheriff Sergeant Ray Kelly, and what do you want to talk about?
Well, first off, I think it's been a couple months since we checked in with you and our Castro Valley community and Castro Valley News. So a lot has gone on. I think we first talked right around the time the shelter in place was going to go into effect.
Yes. Yep.
So obviously, over the last couple months, a lot's gone on. A lot's gone on in Castro Valley. We've gone from this lockdown into the masking, into multiple stages of trying to lift the lockdown. We're now in the early part of stage 2, trying to move toward stage 3 in June. The majority of the time, I've been assigned as the Joint Information Center director for our public information team at the Office of Emergency Services. So I have been COVID-19 all the time in there in the Operations Center with Sheriff Ahern, with our public health partners, with also with our General Service Agency, a bunch of different, our County Fire Chief, Rocha's in there, and a bunch of other folks. So all the county leaderships been in there, city leaders from the different cities as well, and department heads from around the county and the state as well, working on COVID-19. So you can ask me anything you'd like about COVID-19. I hopefully have the answer, but we're looking at the numbers today. We were projecting to, be somewhere in the somewhere between 14, 15, 20 maybe cases per day. I think we were at about 65 today. So we'd like to get those numbers down. The good news was that we had no reported deaths today. I believe our last count, looking at the numbers today, was somewhere around 88 deaths since we've been dealing with COVID-19. We'd like to go, obviously none at all, but we need to be able to go for a week or 2 weeks without any COVID-19 deaths. So the numbers, we have flattened the curve. I definitely would say that. I think Dr. Pond would echo that sentiment. And in flattening the curve, we can reduce some of the restrictions, but we have to continue to monitor it. And I briefly came on the line right after I was listening to your last call. Was that Mitch? Where's Mitch from?
Mitch is in Castro Valley. He owns a gym in Castro Valley.
Yeah. So Mitch obviously owns the gym, and I feel bad for a lot of our local businesses who are really struggling and trying to make it work. And our local businesses could have survived a few weeks, maybe a month, and now here we are, and it's really just devastating those folks. My heart goes out to them, and so many people being laid off. But anyway, so to give you a little bit of an operational perspective, we're doing all that. We've handed out, I think, and we're also, in addition to that, we're managing logistics for the county. So PPE for all frontline workers in the county, first responders, and getting that PPE as well to the medical facilities, convalescent homes, long-term care facilities, skilled nursing facilities really became a major source of outbreak.
Oh yeah.
As we all know, we had one in Castro Valley as well. A lot of our numbers are attributed to those locations in the county, and we had to, as we came across these scenarios, we ended up having to put county workers into those facilities and other professionals into those facilities to help manage that. On top of that, we're dealing with our jail. Our jails had, I think we have 4 patients recovering now, 4 in custody patients recovering. But, we've had over 50 positive cases of COVID-19 come through the jail. Continue to monitor and track that. Thankfully, all those cases have been mild to moderate. We've released over 1,000 inmates out of that jail facility in the last month. You may have noticed, particularly the zero bail schedule that was enacted by the California Judicial Council. That's been problematic. Our sheriff and our office have come out strongly opposed to that zero bail schedule, and I've been highlighting it as much as I can on social media. I call it a zero bail fail. So we've had people. The fastest reoffense time I've seen is 13 minutes. I think that was up in Napa.
Wow.
And then we were in first place with a 37-minute reoffense time, but Napa seems to beat us out with one in 13 minutes. And we have one guy, I actually was watching the news the other night. He was on national news. He's been back 7 times. Another guy, he's been back 5 times. And then multiple repeat offenders. I think we're somewhere up around 50 repeat offenders through zero bail.
What is the reasoning for the implementation of zero bail?
Well, I think so. Initially, what happened was that they went through our jail population was at about 2,600 individuals, 2,650, somewhere around there. They went through and where they could get people out of custody or modify their sentence. They did that, and we didn't necessarily disagree that some people could maybe get out a little sooner because of COVID-19, because they had maybe underlying health concerns, and there was a lot of unknowns around COVID, and there still is, but at the time. And so some of those people got let out. And then over time, the courts got involved, and they enacted basically their emergency operating guidelines for the state of California. And as part of that, they had an emergency bail and release schedule. And so over the course of that time, we had to start letting massive amounts of people out. And then also our courts locally were doing own recognizance orders, and letting people, go home and basically do like a home arrest type situation. There was a couple high-profile cases. One was a serial rapist out of Livermore. He's on home arrest. There's one out of Dublin right now we're worried about, where they're going to let a serial child molester maybe be released. We're obviously opposed to that, but when those things happen, we want to let the community know to be alert, be aware. So there's been a lot to it in regards to it, Robert, but zero bail is a fail. Absolutely. The crooks are having a field day out there. They are stealing cars left and right. I know Castro Valley is getting hit hard with car thefts, catalytic converters. They are stealing them things left and right. Our calls for service for burglaries. We're catching a lot of crooks in progress crimes because a lot of people are home. They're calling them in. We're getting live updates, and we're able to get to these crime scenes or to these scenes quickly. We're catching a lot of criminals either leaving the scene or with their hands in the cookie jar. And so that's been good. But then in some of these cases, we get them to jail, and then they're out within a few hours, and they're back at it again. So it's very frustrating. And our deputies they're tired of doing health order, and we've done we've taken in thousands of complaints, over 3,000 complaints. I think we've done 3 health order violations, citations. So we're not out there enforcing the health order in a way that's going to put us in conflict with the community. The community's been awesome. 99% of everybody gets it, understands it, and so compliance has been perfect. We did run into some issues. Some of them got high profile in regards to the health order.
Oh, yeah. Okay, those are businesses you're talking about, right?
Yeah, we had some business ones. Yeah, more. Yeah,
okay.
Manufacturing has since opened. Obviously, there's a big car manufacturer in the county.
Yep.
That was one. And then
there was another big one in Castro Valley too.
With the gun stores
yep.
as well.
Yep.
And so we're dealing with that as well. And trying to balance all this in an era that's unprecedented and do the right thing. So hopefully, as we continue to move on, we can get through that. So, needless to say, some of those people have filed lawsuits against the county, suits against the health order, challenging some of that. There's a lot of obviously debate about that. But in regards to enforcement, I want the community to know it's not like we're out there looking for you and going, aha, we see you not wearing your mask. Here's your $1,000 ticket. And oh, by the way, we know you lost your job, and we know you're struggling and you're homeschooling and you're doing all these things. And we're just going to make your life even worse by giving you. That's absolutely not what we want to do or intend to do. And we are really focused on crime and catching these criminals doing this stuff. It's but our guys and girls really want to get back to work and start putting people back in jail, because we've really been using a lot of discretion and trying not to arrest people and trying not to bring COVID into the jail and expose people. And now we're running into issues where we release people from our jail. They were healthy, they were COVID free, and now they're coming back in with COVID-19, further exposing people in the jail, including our staff, to it. So it's been quite an ordeal. So
I can imagine. When I was out here talking to you for the shooting that happened, another deputy had told me that just that day there were 3 pursuits.
Oh yeah, we're probably having 3, 4, 5 pursuits a day. I think we just had one today, finished up over on Grove.
Yep.
Grove Way. Yeah, that suspect got away, unfortunately. I meant to give you that update, but another car chase, suspect got away. So it's okay. We'll find him later. But yeah, we've been busy, and obviously the other day, Robert, we were busy. I know our audio was not very good when you interviewed me in regards to our officer-involved shooting over off Foothill Boulevard at the motel.
Yeah.
But we obviously had that incident kind of land in our lap related to an Oakland homicide. And so there's been a lot going on in and around Castro Valley, and
all over.
But it's all over. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not just unique to Castro Valley. You know, we're at the crossroads kind of Castro Valley, where a lot of activity. But by and large, you know, Castro Valley is one of our safest communities in the Bay Area. So, but it has been challenging. I will say that a lot has gone on multiple fronts. I will say though that I'm really proud of our team working in the Emergency Operations Center, working together to make sure the community's safe and everybody's getting the messaging. And the people I'm working with, I couldn't be happier to work with those folks. And our public health department is doing a very tremendous heavy lift.
Yeah.
And so it's important that we all support them. And I know we spend a lot of time with public health and trying to support them and doing their work. And they have a very challenging job. And as far as COVID-19 goes, you know, this is the way our life's going to be right now.
Yep.
We got to be smart about it. We obviously know what the data shows, and I'm watching the numbers every day, as is the sheriff. And we need to get those numbers down. And we're doing a great job, but we're slowly. Our county has caught up to Santa Clara County, which early on was their numbers were twice, almost 3 times the number of cases we had, and now we have caught up to them. And then we continue to monitor the counties around us, Contra Costa County is doing better than we are. San Francisco, San Mateo, and then we're looking at it on a per capita basis, and we're about mid pack in regards to COVID-19 and how it's affecting our community. We're the 7th largest county in California, and our numbers are consistent with that. Although Orange County, our numbers are catching up to theirs a little bit on number of deaths. So we got to be smart. We can't just be open it up. We got to be smart, and it's got to be a phased approach. And every time you move into a new phase, there's a 2-week kind of analysis that needs to occur, because then you're going to see potentially more positive cases. We really encouraging people to get out to the testing sites. They're all over the place. You can go to Alameda County Public Health or the acgov.org website, and everything you'd want to know about the services in the county: food distribution, testing, resources. We've done all that. One of the things we did was we started 2 operations to house unsheltered people, some of our homeless population at risk. We're doing those hotels up in Oakland. So that was all being managed and operated out of the Emergency Operations Center in Dublin. We have hundreds of food sites up, either sponsored by the state, the county, or local entities and nonprofit groups. A lot of food being distributed to families, so that's really good. So a lot of the emergency management stuff that we've trained for over the years is being utilized. And now, as we progress into the summer months, now on top of COVID, we're worried about power shutoffs again.
Oh, yeah.
And fire season.
Yep.
On top of that, if things weren't bad enough, we're planning for those events on top of COVID, and making sure that we're ready for those things if they come and when they come. And if they don't, I don't know. Let's hope they don't. But we're all real about it. So we've already had some fires, and we're just starting out. So it's been a trying time. Our people are working around the clock. Our deputies are on mandatory overtime. We're trying to get relief. The county's trying to help us out. Expanded our budget to hire more deputies at the jail, where they're working mandatory overtime, trying to keep everybody safe. Our deputies out on patrol are working a tremendous amount of extra shifts. That's time away from their families. It's more time they're exposed to the virus. They have their own, obviously, concerns about in their lives, and their families are struggling, just like our families in Castro Valley are. Homeschooling, taking care of the kids, keeping them busy, missing that socialization and all the normal things that we all like to do, and go on vacation about this time of year. Excited about school ending, graduation, Castro Valley High. Shout out to you. I know you won't be doing your graduation that you earned. I'm sorry for that. So we're aware of that, but look at the new guidelines for graduation if you get a chance. I know, Robert, you've been highlighting graduates on social media, and that's been really nice. And we'll find new ways to adapt. So, but we're definitely thinking of our young people, the high school graduates, and all the hard work they put in, and trying to now transition into maybe college and junior college, and going away to school, and trying to do that now in a world that's gone virtual. Really difficult time for families. And so we're all making it. We all just got to stay the course. And we obviously are looking for a vaccine or a therapeutic that can help us get back to normal, and then get our people working and businesses back, get kids to school. So all these things are on our mind, and we're working on these problems every day at the county level to make sure that the community know, and we want the community to know that. So it's been trying, Robert.
I can imagine. Yeah.
And then balance crime on top of it and all that. So we've been very busy.
Yeah. Is there anything that people can do if they don't like zero bail? Can they contact a supervisor or?
Absolutely. Well, it's actually, so if people are opposed to the zero bail, there's a couple things. Number one is there's going to be a ballot measure on bail reform in California. So I believe it's called SB 10 in November, be on the ballot. it would be similar in nature to kind of what's going on with zero bail, the principles of it anyway. So people can vote on that. Yeah, and you can also, if you wanted to voice your concern about zero bail, you could contact the California Judicial Council, and you could email, call, or write them. I don't have that info handy.
We'll find it.
Or as well, you could contact the Chief Justice of the California Supreme Court as well. So if you, in your opposition to zero bail.
Gotcha.
And so we'll continue to highlight those stories. I know a lot of the other police departments are highlighting them, and I tell them if you guys don't want to highlight them, we'll do it, because we're really concerned that zero bail. We had a case out of Oakland. I don't know if some of your listeners, but there was a gentleman that was kind of the victim of zero bail, and ultimately was killed by a neighbor with a long-standing feud. And there were multiple opportunities to hold this suspect in custody, and they didn't. And it wasn't the fault of the police. It was the judicial system that let him out multiple times and reduced bail and all this, and ultimately ended up killing this nice gentleman that had, kids and a baby on the way, and he's dead because of a zero bail issue. So that's just one of many others. We've, in Dublin, we've had, I think, 4 carjackings in a month. That's never happened before, ever.
Wow.
We can recall. So yeah, that the crime is definitely, and some people will tell you, oh, crime's not on the rise, or it's not, but it is, and it's only been a month of this zero bail schedule, and the zero bail schedule doesn't end until 90 days after the governor declares the emergency over. So if the governor declared the emergency over today, we'd have to go 90 more days with the zero bail schedule. Wow. Which will take us all the way through the summer, which is our peak time for law enforcement to deal with crime. And so that puts us into the fall, and the emergency is not going to be over anytime soon. So we'll probably ride out the rest of this year with the zero bail schedule, potentially. It could be very likely. And, if you're interested in the bail reform, you can follow that issue, SB 10 bail reform, educate yourself on it. See, we're not going to tell people what to do. We oppose it, but most law enforcement opposes it, but people should take a look at it if they get a chance. And you can also, the zero bail schedule and the rules are online as well. You can look those up and educate yourself on those as well. So
what are you
that's it.
What are you thinking and feeling about what might happen with the county budget shortfall?
Well, so we've already cut about $8 million off of our budget. We also have to do a budget increase because of the jail and some of the issues we're having there. The county budget's going to be hurting for sure. And then I think the projections are still to be realized, I think, in regards to how bad that deficit will be. I think city and county governments are really going to be struggling in California, as the state is going to be as well. And hopefully Congress and our federal government can come in and help those communities out. A lot of the work we're doing around COVID-19, we should be able to get reimbursement through FEMA and through other programs from the federal government to recoup those costs. But at the end of the day, there's going to be some struggles in government for sure, and we're going to have to end up deciding what's going to need to be cut and what's not. And so we'll have to see where that goes, but it's still early. But I think the true impact of this will probably be, we're doing our budget, starts July 1 is our fiscal year. And so we'll have to see how, once we enter that budget cycle, a few months into it, it's going to probably be some realizations there as to how that's going to look. But some local governments are really going to be impacted hard. And I think Alameda County as a whole, we do very well. We have a great management and leadership team in regards to the county. So in that regard, Alameda County does well. I think some of the other cities within the county will have struggles, and so honestly, I think everybody's going to be struggling. So it's no different than what we see in the community with our community members and our businesses. I think that the county is a business like anyone else, and so we're going to definitely have some tough days ahead. So I think if you worry too much about it, it'll focus you off the mission, and the mission at the end of the day is we got to get the job done, with or without the money issue. It's a people issue, and so we got to make sure that we're going to get services and supplies and all of that equipment out to people on the front line that are doing the work to keep our community healthy and safe. So we'll get it all done. We'll eventually bounce back, but it is rather amazing how we went from a very robust, busy economy to this in just a matter of months. I mean, it's make your head spin.
Yeah, but the state had a ginormous surplus, and now nothing.
Yeah, and we were all doing well, and our biggest concern was how much traffic was on the road.
Right.
And our communities were thriving. We were doing a lot of great work, and I think you got to appreciate those times as much as we might all get a little bit, self-righteous sometimes and get mad about stuff. But a lot of our communities were thriving and going in a good direction, and a lot of good work was being done. And it still is being done, and it will be done again. I'm just saying, but sometimes what was important back then is not so important now, and I think that's the learning lesson in it all. It's like be thankful for what we have, and we have a great community. We get to live in a wonderful part of the country, and we got our families and our friends and a lot of support for each other, and so we'll get through that. I think we need to continue to take care of people in our community who are at risk for COVID-19, and there's no doubt about it that COVID does greatly impact our seniors and members of our community that have health conditions. There's no doubt about it. I've seen the numbers. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a scientist or researcher. I'm just a cop, but I can tell you that the numbers don't lie, that when it comes to impacting our seniors and our most at-risk folks. So absolutely. And so how can we help in that regard? It's by washing our hands, using our hand sanitizer, social distancing, wearing the mask, wiping down your shopping cart, wiping it down for the next person, and just being kind and generous and courteous and looking out for those people, because it could be your parents, your grandparents, or one of your friends that gets impacted by COVID-19. So I've seen a lot of that, seen a lot of goodness, a lot of gracious people, tremendous amount of donations going out and helping community members, from masks to food. People have been amazing. And people try to want to give us stuff. We're like, hey, give it to somebody else that needs it. We'll be okay. But we have people making masks and trying to give those things to us, and there are a lot of donations, and it's been amazing. The community spirit, amazing. So
a lot of people at the perfect time. Not that there's a wrong time for it, but like you said, a lot of people are just giving of themselves and caring, and that's so important at this time, because you don't know who's going through what in what situation, especially like you said, for the seniors.
Oh yeah, absolutely, and we can't forget about our seniors. I mean, and we got to take care of them, and the only way to do that is by just practicing those health guidelines. And like I said, I've been in this job a long time. I've seen a lot of stuff over the years, a lot of different crazy things, but I've seen a lot of good things go on. Yeah. And I'm personally really proud of my agency, your sheriff's department. I think our community should be very proud of the sheriff's department. Our people every day go out there. They look COVID in the eyes. That's what I tell them, and they're just fearless, and they're smart, but they're not afraid. They go out there and do this job. They're safe. They're smart about it, and then they have to go home and keep their families healthy. And they're going. Our deputies, their spouses, their family members have lost their jobs. They're doing the homeschooling. They've had family members get COVID-19. They've had relatives die from COVID-19. And so they struggle with all that, but they come to work every day with a smile, and they treat people with respect. And so I couldn't be more proud of our agency and of Sheriff Ahern as a phenomenal leader. I don't just say that because he's my boss. We're truly lucky to have him as our sheriff. He absolutely is so dedicated every day to making sure the communities are safe. I watch him every day calling community members, whatever question they have, and answering those questions and making sure that they know that he's cares about them. So it's been a trying time, but a lot of good as well, and a lot of good will come from bad, and we've talked about that before. But
yeah.
So anyway, so a lot happened in the last couple of months, Rob, since we last talked. Unfortunately, the last time I ran into you, you were sheltered in place, not for COVID, but because we were with that barricaded suspect. So
yep.
I appreciate you were very calm, by the way. I think probably more calm than a lot of people did.
I was
giving me the play-by-play there.
I was calm because I knew you guys were out there taking care of it. So I knew my neighborhood was in good hands.
Yeah, and that suspect, and we'll probably have to put more out on that story here soon, but that suspect was not going to come out without shooting at us, without a shootout. He was trying to lure us into the room so that he could shoot our deputies. We're obviously a little smarter than that, and he ultimately came out with a gun, fired it at our deputies, and unfortunately put us in a position where we had to shoot him and shoot back. And so no, we're not happy that we had to do that. It's just we were trying to do our job, and you were directly impacted by that because it was right next door to where you live. And so we did a really good job containing that scene, keeping it very tight and compacted so that nobody was too affected. And I was obviously on the phone with you to make sure you were safe. It was one of my main concerns as well.
Thank you for that. I appreciate
and you were.
that.
And I said, hey, if you need me to get you out of there, Robert, I'll come get you right now. So I'll send a team over there to get you. But so unfortunately that happened as well. But we handled that stuff. And so we are working hard for everybody. And on top of that, dealing with these crazy different scenarios that have been jumping off that we don't normally see.
Yeah.
And so tensions are running high in certain areas, and criminals are having a field day. I am absolutely going to say that. The criminal element, the thieves of the world out there are having a field day right now. And I say, don't worry, we will catch up to you, and we will make sure that you have a place to stay. Hopefully the courts are taking notice of all these repeat offenders and people taking advantage of the situation and victimizing the communities. But we'll catch up to you eventually, and your time will run out. And once our deputies want to get back to work, and they want to put the bad guys in jail where they belong. And so as of for now, we'll continue to promote the community health and respond to all those calls. And please keep continuing to call us. And if anyone has any COVID-19 issues, you can get in touch with me. Robert has my number, or email. You can email me, rkelly@acgov.org. If you have any complaints around COVID-19, you can email us covid19compliance@acgov.org as well.
Great. Thank you for your time, Ray.
Thank you, Robert, and hang in there, and we'll do another update soon, I hope.
Yeah, definitely.
Not 2 months long. Sorry about that.
That's all right. No worries. You're doing 10 jobs at once.
Well, yeah, exactly. So,
right
okay.
On. Thanks, Ray. Stay safe.
You too.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Well, thank you, Ray, for calling in and giving us a lot of information about what's happening with zero bail and the enforcement that, or the situations that the sheriffs are dealing with during the shelter in place. Towards the end of the conversation, it sounds like they are, I mean, these are things that we would not expect our law enforcement officers to be doing, but they are doing it. Sounds like they're doing a fantastic job. And I know for a fact, because there are a lot of times whenever anything is happening in Castro Valley, thanks to you guys message it in. I ask Ray. Ray is always there and gets the information, and it's I'm very thankful for the level, the relationship with the sheriffs and fire. Whenever anything is happening in Castro Valley, they're always right there to provide information. And like Ray said, that thing that was happening on Foothills right next door to where we're at here. And thank you for caring enough to extend that offer. And with that said, we've gone over an hour. Thank you, Mitch, for calling in. Thank you, Ray, for calling in. And like I said one more time, take care of each other. Be kind. Please, if you can, check in on each other as much as you can. Make sure everyone's all right, especially senior citizens. And we will get through this. And as always, when the going gets weird, the word turn pro. We will see you here next Tuesday, 7 p.m. We'll talk about topics of the day, and we'll see you then. Thank you.